You're listening to a Platforms podcast, your source for cutting-edge, relevant Torah. Enjoy.
In Olam Habba, you don't just need the entrance key. So this is how most people view Olam Habba. We have mitzvos and averos, things to do, things not to do, things to think, things not to think. And if we get more cookies, yeses, that we did a good sticker than more pachas, we get a ticket, we get into the world to come. And this is the story that you tell young children and women, that are uneducated, that's not developed yet. That's what you tell them, They're not yet developed, you tell them. So this is the courtyard, and that is the banquet, and you want to go get enough tickets to go into the banquet hall. That's the goal. This is my son, You know that? You never heard that measure? Parable?
Sure.
That this is the corridor, this is the waiting period, and the Olam Habba is the banquet. First mashal. It's 3 mashalim. I'll bring out a little bit different. So the first mashal brings out, that means that basically we're living for the ultimate in existence. The ultimate pleasure, the ultimate wisdom, the ultimate to be. We're living for them. But the entrance ticket, you got to pay the price. No free lunch, This isn't communism. No free lunch. You get whatever you sow. You got to earn the ticket. But once you get in there, you eat whatever you eat. So if I do Shabbos, it doesn't make a difference how I do Shabbos. I do Shabbos, do kashrus, do Passover. It's done. Eat the pizza. Then you get your ticket. You get to go in. The second mashal adds something different. This world is weekday, and the world to come is Shabbos. What's it changed? What's it at? If you put shoelaces in your cholent, that's what you eat on Shabbos, shoelaces in your cholent. If you're kind, it depends on how were you kind. Did you help him out? Did you build him up? Yeah, you gave him $1, but you took his soul. You made him feel like nothing. What should you do? Invite him in. How can I offer you? Oh, is there something you need? How can you give him the money without giving it in a way that it doesn't debase him? In Namadi Kisufa, he's shamed for taking this bread of shame. How can you do it in a way that mitigates that shame? Now it's qualitative. You eat what you baked during the week. You are qualitatively. It's not just actions of quantity. It's qualitative. It's how you kept Shabbos. It's how you had Amunah. It's how you had Bitachon. It's how you've done business. Anyway, so on and so forth. Okay, the third mashal, this one is a little subtle. And it's a little backwards, you would think, This world is the dry land, and the world to come is the sea. Who wants to be on the sea? That's where we send the pirates. We send them out to the sea. The criminals. You want to be in eternity on sea. So what's he bringing out? You have one of these mansions. You happen to live on one of these mansions, the North Bay Road. These beautiful $40 million house, and you got a dog. You have a dog. So there's a chelik olam haba, ben olam haba, and chaya olam haba. 3 different ideas. So you can have a chelik olam haba, but you spoke Lashon Hara about that yid, talking about universal measure for measure. There's a switch. You speak Lashon Hara, you exchange avanos for merits. Measure for measure. You spoke negatively, pork is on negative, you get the negative, and he gets your positive. There's an exchange. She had a chelik, but she gave it to the other guy. It's like you have a house over here, you have a portion, but somebody else takes it out from underneath you. Just because you have a chelik doesn't mean you're going to be a ben olam haba. That means you're an inheritor. Your dad has a house, but there's 10 of you. You might not be a ben of that house, right? Oh no, what they say about inheritance. Anyway, we won't get to that now. But you have your chelik olam haba, ben olam haba. Ben olam haba means you actually get it. You either get your portion or somebody else, but you get a portion. Chaya olam haba. What's chaya olam haba? And that's what the third medrash is bringing out. So you and your dog, you have this $40 million house on the ocean over here. You're looking out. It's beautiful. Your dog is also there, and you go on the yacht together, and your dog is there licking. I ask you, I say, who has more chaya? Who has more living of this $40 million house and both you or the dog? Both have the same house, both have a room in the house, but your life experience, what you're experiencing, the pleasures, the beauty, the elegant, you're getting a totally different chaya olam haba. So there's 3 different aspects of olam haba we have to achieve. We're not just doing mitzvos, it's how we're doing mitzvos, why we're doing mitzvos, what's the purpose, what are we trying to be, where are we trying to get to, what's the goal? Are we trying to meet somebody? Are we trying to meet the Almighty? Are we trying to develop a relationship? What are we trying to do with them? The second is, a ben olam haba, is you better make sure you keep that portion. Understand? You can do a lot of Torah and mitzvahs. Yochanan Goido, don't trust yourself till the day of your death. It's not too optimistic in Judaism, It's a little bit peasant. Listen, you've been a nice guy, Tona. I've known you 20 years, but I don't trust you. The Yochanan Kohen Gadol, his whole life is learning Torah. And what happens with Yochanan Kohen Gadol? Brings us back to the beginning. What happens? Sudoki. He rejects having a Rebbe. Whole life, he's the Kohen Gadol. He's a massive Talmid Chacham. Probably one of the biggest Talmid Chachamim in his day. His whole life. He's good on the derech, right on bad. All of a sudden he loses a Rebbe, Shlomo Malachite, another example. Turns off the derech. Something interesting. Anyway, but chelik olam haba. And your chai olam haba, how do you live life? How do you experience it? What's your Shabbos like? Are you tasting the Shekhinah? You know, it's 1/60th of Olam Haba. Have you tasted Olam Haba in it? You say, no, Rabbi, I can't taste it. It's bato and shishim. I can't taste it. You can taste it. You can taste it. Anyway, but just a little humor there. But it's a chai Olam Haba. There's a chelek, a ben, and a chaya. You're learning how to experience love. If you don't learn how to experience love here, you can have the portion, you can have the thing, but you'll be a dog in Olam Haba. So you need all three. You get the basic presumption of schar v'onish and Olam Haba is you get what you sow. That's what you are. You are what it is, the choices you make. Nobody can make you you. The only one who can make you you is you. Because if God makes you you, then you're not you. You're God. The only way for you to be you is for you to choose. You're not caused by anything to choose. Now, some choices might be more difficult and some choices might be easier. There might be motivations, but ultimately you get to choose. And those choices have repercussions in this world, what we call schar v'onesh, for the good or for the surgery. Now, it's good ultimately, but you would have rather not have your arm cut off. But it was good. The gangrene was spreading throughout the whole body. Yeah, but it would have been better not to go biking and getting the gangrene to begin with, Okay, and then Olam Haba, you are whatever it is that you choose to ultimately be. You become what it is that you are. And you go through perpetual growth throughout that existence in bliss and pleasure. Good?
This has been a Platforms podcast. Please share it with your friends. If you can think of one person to send it to, please take the time. It truly is the best way to help us out. If you have any comments or suggestions, please go and email platformspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.